Hi, this is Caitlin Shelley from Shelley Homestead, coming to you with our weekly update. As promised, we have our chicks, and so I'll be showing you the chicks that we got and talking a little bit about some new things that have been happening since last week and some new plans that we have for the homestead. So first of all, without delay, here are our chicks. All nice and content. Happy with these two heat lamps. So our brooder that we had built for them is approximately 4 by 7 feet, and once we got them home we had realized that that was a little bit too much space to really efficiently heat, to make sure that they stayed at the warm temperature that they need for the first few days of life. And so my husband had built this little kind of cardboard corral to help try to concentrate some of the heat. Put the 2 heat lamps in there, so they're very content with this temperature, as you can tell by how they're spacing themselves out. You kind of want to see the chicks dispersing themselves among where the heat is. If they're all huddled up underneath the heat lamp, then that means that they're a little bit too cold. And if likewise, if they're all spread far away from the heat lamp, then that means that they're a little bit too warm. So right now they're pretty content. They're nice and happy, chirping happily, and definitely dispersed throughout the space that they have. They're learning how to eat from the feeder right here. It's just a little mason jar feeder, gravity feeder that we have set up for them. And then we have just your basic chick waterer here that we change a couple of times a day because they tend to get poop and wood chips, wood shavings into it, just from kicking things around and scratching and pecking as they do. They're very content. So we got red stars, white rocks, and Plymouth Rock varieties. And we also, as a bonus, the hatchery sends 1 exotic breed. And so we're not quite sure yet because the chicks tend to change color a lot from what they look like as day-old, week-old chicks to what they look like as adults. We're thinking, based on things, that it's a salmon Faverel, because I'll show you right here. Here's the guy. He has, this little dude, has feathered feet and legs, which only a few varieties have. He's also got some little bit of different coloring on his back. There we go, you can see it. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. It'll be a fun surprise as the chick grows up and we get to see what kind of variety we ended up with. But they're very cute. I'm enjoying them, but I'm keeping in mind that their purpose here is to produce eggs, and then when that purpose has ended, then they're here for meat. So I'm trying very hard not to get too attached. The first set of chicks that we got, that we have, that are 2.5 years old now, I became very, very attached to, which was a problem. And so now I'm struggling with the idea of potentially culling them so that our new flock of egg-laying hens will take over and we'll stick with the most productive egg-laying hens that we can. Everything has its place on the farm, and livestock is here for the purpose of being livestock and not for being pets. And that's going to be something that it will continue to be, I think, a little bit of a challenge for me, but it helps to know that the whole point of this raising our own livestock is that I know that the animals are being treated well for the entire duration of their lives, and that they're being treated as humanely as possible, given a natural diet and natural lifestyle, and then when they are eventually killed so that we can eat them, that they're being killed in a very humane way, and that their meat and their sacrifice is being appreciated. So that's kind of it for the chickens right now. We'll keep you posted on those. Approximately 12 weeks before, no, was it 20 weeks? I believe it's 20 weeks before they will be laying eggs. So that puts them somewhere in mid-July, meaning eggs should start being available in August, so you can look forward to those pastured eggs. As soon as these little guys are feathered fully and the snow is gone, which, as you know, in Michigan, I'm sure you've heard, even if you're not from Michigan, we have been having a ton of snow this year. So we have at least a solid 1.5 foot probably of snow out there right now. So once that all melts away and they're feathered up, then we'll be moving them into some portable outdoor coops so that they can free range on grass and bugs and seeds and all sorts of things. So many, many more chicken videos to come, I'm sure. So the other big update is we have been talking about potentially growing rabbits for food. So meat rabbits. And one of the things that has been kind of holding us back in that venture is the initial cost that it requires, because each breeding rabbit needs to have its own cage, and you need to have cages for transport and stuff. So the cages themselves are a fair expense. Let me put the lid on these chickens so they don't get too cold. We have this nice insulated top here, so it keeps them nice and toasty even though they're in our mudroom, which is open to the outside. But anyway, so the cost of the rabbit cages was kind of holding us back on it. And the other day I was randomly looking on Craigslist and came across somebody who was selling a bunch of rabbit cages and waterers and feeders and just everything we could possibly need to do rabbits. And so we took it as a sign that, hey, this is the year to start rabbits. So we went and purchased all of that. My husband and brother-in-law spent part of the weekend setting up the rabbitry up in the barn. And so I will be sending out some videos of that in a few weeks. And you'll get to see what that looks like. We're kind of trying to figure out which rabbit breeds are available and which rabbit breeds would be the best for meat production, and which ones grow the fastest, and which ones do well on pasture, because that's our plan with them, to put them in mobile coops just like the chickens so that they can also forage and have a natural diet. So I would love to hear some feedback from all of our Facebook and YouTube fans as to, number one, would you be interested in rabbit if it was available to purchase? And number two, how much rabbit would you be interested in? I know there are a lot of people who haven't tried rabbit meat, myself included, and so I really want to try to get some, but as we've discovered, it's hard to come by. Unless you're hunting the rabbit, there aren't a lot of places that sell rabbit, at least locally. So it could be a really good market for us, and we're interested in going into markets that are very unsaturated right now, and rabbit, I think, is one of those. So I'd love to hear your feedback, and that'll conclude this episode of our weekly farm update. And give me some feedback. I'd love to hear it. Please check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Shelly Homestead. And please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to make sure that you don't miss any updates from the homestead. All right, thank you so much for watching.